right, well, welcome back to SANDCAST podcast, everybody. I have a good friend here, Charlie Brande. He's I would say, an ultimate ambassador of the sport. He has many stories from over the years, and I've had the pleasure of getting to know him a little bit more over the last few years, but excited to sit down with you today. Thanks for coming up, Charlie.
Well, thanks for having me, and thanks for those kind words.
Yeah, for sure. I've seen you a lot over the years, heard your name maybe even more from some of the most reliable sources, at least in my volleyball life. And and I've also seen you at Outrigger a lot. Me and you take similar vacation times out there.
Yes, we do.
And we're at the club like every day.
Yeah, every day.
Yes.
Morning till night. Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Absolutely.
No better place.
But you're always chasing your daughter.
Yeah. Different times of our lives, right?
Yeah, I was there 25 years ago. So
Yes.
Doing that.
So what have you been up to lately? Like I know you're in between Hawaii and Cali a lot.
Yeah.
But
I spent about 3 months a year in Hawaii.
Okay. That's
and I live in
spot.
Newport Beach.
Mm-hmm.
And I coached at I played basketball at UC Irvine when it first opened.
Oh, I didn't know that.
In the 60s. And my basketball coach then, in those days, you had to play freshmen. All the freshmen had to play freshmen. Like, we played UCLA, and Lou Alcindor, Abdul Karim Jabbar, was on that team.
Oh, wow.
And they beat us.
How'd that go?
But it was just, and Poly Pavilion, first year it was open.
Yeah.
So, but when I got to UCI, my basketball coach, a guy named Dick Davis, was an old AAA on the beach. And as I say, the school just opened, and he was teaching a sand volleyball class.
No way.
But nobody had signed up for it in 1965.
Yeah.
So he made our basketball team sign up so there'd be enough names on the roster that he would get paid.
No way. And was beach volleyball even like a sport much?
Well, in 64 is when indoor volleyball came in the Olympics.
Right, okay.
But people have been playing beach volleyball. The Outrigger.
Just casually, right?
Yeah, well, Outrigger, I think, was one of the first in 1908.
Yeah.
To hold something.
With Duke and the boys, that kind of crew, right?
Exactly. Yeah. And so we all went down, and we're all basketball players playing volleyball, and we noticed how similar the skills were.
Right.
So we started playing tournaments on the beach, and the same thing in those days. You drove somewhere, found someone's couch to sleep on, and if you won on Saturday, had to come back Sunday to find another couch to sleep on, and then drive back home. Next weekend, take the circus somewhere else.
Yes.
But it was fun. As you know, the greatest thing about the sport, I mean, the game is great, but the camaraderie.
Yes.
And the families are what are really, really.
Yeah, it's such an interesting thing because even just that, I don't know, that grind of playing in tournaments, sleeping on couches, catching rides with your opponents or with whatever, people just showing up, and it's like almost a party, half the time or right when you're out it is. But just that beach volleyball culture, and it's interesting how it's progressed over the years. Like, obviously we all want it to be indoor and beach, but we all want it to be this elite world-class professional sport. But I think I've noticed a lot of the volleyball enthusiasts over the years don't like when the culture of it is kind of lost through that yearning for it to be a world-class sport. So it's kind of funny to see like the progression of it and how it's like there's a give and take there.
Yeah, that was definitely a changing time in volleyball when they decided to really make it big. And in the 80s, it was it was on Channel 4 and every Saturday and Sunday, and it was really well watched, sponsored really, really well.
Yeah.
But to make that next move, it went from bring your beach chair down and find a seat on the sand somewhere right next to the court to buy a ticket and sit up in the stands and be separate. It was a different thing.
Different vibe, right. Was indoor volleyball, did it ever have like a spike in terms of like exposure in the U.S.? Because I know obviously beach had it, the 80s and 90s. Early 2000s, and we've kind of maintained some of that since, but was there a boom for indoor volleyball as well? Or
I was lucky enough to be coaching women or girls, high school, in the mid-'70s when Title IX was passed.
Okay.
And so I had a lot of our girls this is my connection to Hawaii.
Yeah.
I had a lot of those girls that were able to get full scholarships to go play. I had 3 girls on my club team that went to play at University of Hawaii.
Uh-huh.
And
Okay.
Dave showed you Greg Giovinazzi, who was an old UCLA guy, was just leaving, and Shoji said, will you come and be my assistant?
So you were there the first year, Dave.
No, Dave had been there for 3 years. They won the
Okay.
NAIA the year before.
Okay.
Or it was the AIAW.
But that was the year, that was when Dave took over as head?
No, that was his second year.
That was second. Okay,
Yeah.
okay, got it.
That was in 79 they won, and then 80 I went with the Pulaski twins and Marcy Wirtz.
Okay.
I later, the next year we recruited Sue Hemingway and Lisa Strand,
Uh-huh.
Lisa Ma'a,
Micah Ma'a's,
Micah
Pona
Ma'a's,
Ma'a's wife, Micah Ma'a's mom.
right.
Yeah.
And we had a great little run there.
Uh-huh.
You know, won the Open USVBA National Championship, and then the team went on to win in 82 and 83 the NC2A championships.
Right.
So that's where I first.
Was McKibben on Diana McKibben?
No, Diana was
Later.
graduated the year before.
Oh, year before.
79.
Okay,
She was on the 79 team.
Got it.
So knowing her, and then Dave and I are such close friends. I've gone back every year.
Yes.
And then now that I'm basically retired from coaching, and I sold my volleyball club that I had for 47 years,
Balboa,
Bay Volleyball
which
Club.
has been one of the premier volleyball clubs in the country
Well, that's
for
nice of you to say that. We've been. You know what?
as long as I've known club volleyball, Balboa has been a staple of a name for sure.
Well, you know what's unique that I think is we lose this. You call it a volleyball club.
Right.
Well, the one thing we did was we started with fundamental skills that we wanted to teach: passing, digging, serving, even hitting. But we started at 11 and 12-year-olds, and they did the same skills, the same drills. Just you extend things all the way up. So it was a club. A lot of these quote clubs are a group of coaches doing kind of what they want to do.
Right.
So you don't see the continuity that Balboa Bay has maintained and still has.
Yeah. So just building. So from team to team, there's a structure and a foundation for all the athletes involved, and you're building them all up in the same similar way.
Yeah. And
versus each team having its own structure to their practices and the things they're learning and all that.
Right.
I like that.
And the process, and there were little things like we're wearing white socks.
Right. Okay.
I mean, it's not tough, but it's something we're here 15 minutes early to practice.
Yeah.
And everybody's doing that.
Yeah, culture stuff.
Yeah,
right?
and that's what kind of developed the culture. And then we were fortunate enough to win, and that again develops a culture.
Yeah, for sure.
Go ahead.
Yeah, that's one thing is super interesting is like, and you've been at the forefront of it, having been, at least from my perspective, the strongest foundations that the youth have gotten in our sport, whether it's indoor or beach, has come from Hawaii and Southern California, both places that you've been a part of, the growth of it. So I'm curious, just like, what are your thoughts on it? And also what are like some of the key foundational things? I know I grew up through Dave Shoji and Mary and Mark Hain, you know, all the Hawaii folks. They were the teachers for me, and it all came down to fundamental. Like I don't think Dave ever taught us how to hit or block he didn't care. He's like, you pass the ball, defend, play smart, good fundamental volleyball, and I don't care. You'll do the rest.
And
it's
you're
true.
a great example of that. You can do all those skills that a lot of taller guys can't do.
Yes, 100%.
Because you learn that
That's
early.
That's how I've separated myself over the years. It's
Right.
Like I played libero in college. It's like that's how we
remember.
took pride. Was like if there's a skill that you can't do, that's something to kind of be embarrassed about. Not embarrassed, but like for me at least, it was like I took pride in like I better be able to set the ball. Like I don't want to be a player who can't dig. Like, oh, you got to take me out over here because I can't do this.
Yeah.
And that's just the foundation of how I learned it, but also just Hawaii volleyball, and I think why we've produced so many great athletes from such a small little island.
It was interesting. In Newport, there's obviously a beach culture, and it's been there since the 60s and 50s. And in the 70s, when we were playing a lot on the beach, but it was a unique little group. You got outside that group, and they're like, what's volleyball? You know, they used to think of you hit and giggle and slap the ball in the air, and that's what it was. And that's what I loved when I came to Hawaii to coach at University of Hawaii, is everybody I talked to knew what volleyball was. In Hawaii, the understanding of the game was so much, it was widespread.
Yeah.
It wasn't a select little group.
Even the fans.
The fans are tremendous.
Which is like, how did the fans learn volleyball? You know, like how did...
I think they were just interested in it. The
Right.
culture kind of, as you know, there's no pro team there.
Yes, exactly.
And so they follow. I remember driving down the street when I was coaching there and having little kids looking up and pointing at me. I'm the assistant coach.
Right.
And they're, oh, yeah, that's the guy,
You guys, no, for sure.
Yeah.
When we were growing up, that was it. Like the Wahine women, maybe we looked up to even more than the men. I guess it depended on who was the top team at the time, right?
Right.
When the men went and made their national championship run, they were kind of the celebrities more so. But yeah, 100%. UH football and UH volleyball were the athletes that we had to look up to, besides the pros on TV, that from the mainland.
Right.
So yeah, and we see, posters in Burger King or like, all the shops around the whole state. You have the collegiate posters of the athletes there.
Yeah, everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
And you also look at, I always think it's so great, the number of really, really good athletes that are playing volleyball from Hawaii.
Mm-hmm.
All the setters that have come from there.
Yeah, exactly.
All you beach players that are so successful.
All skill player.
Yep.
Not many middles have come out of Hawaii, right? Like where you're specialized. Granted, like not that many really tall, like big guys, like above 6.
Right.
Like, do we have any? I don't think we have anyone over 6.
Well,
7,
Clay
6,
Stanley
8.
was pretty good, but he was
Clay.
the opposite.
Okay, Clay.
Yeah.
Clay is the anomaly.
Yeah.
But for the most part, it's all ball skill players
Right.
coming out of Hawaii.
Right.
Yeah.
You look at Mike Ma'a.
Yeah.
I mean, he can do everything really well.
I know. I wish he wasn't getting paid so well indoors, so people could come watch him on the beach. And Christensen.
Right.
I've seen both of them play on the beach.
Yeah.
And I wish they could come out. But
Right.
I would be doing the same thing that they're doing right now if I could.
Yeah.
But
Well,
I think they'll come out eventually. I know they want to eventually. I don't know if it's in the cards. But yeah, these guys have it.
Micah Christensen's been at it for a long, long time.
Yeah, he
is
has.
the one thing.
Yeah.
Micah Ma'a's got some years.
Yeah, he could do both. He could do the Taylor Sander,
Yep.
where he has a legitimate, amazing indoor career,
Right.
and then comes to the beach and has a really great career
Yeah.
there as well. Christensen, I don't know if he'll have the energy or
Yeah,
it'll
he's
be
got
worth it.
little kids, and
Exactly.
as you know, it kind of hampers the whole process.
Yeah, I don't know if wifey's like, you're gonna start a whole nother career
Yeah.
on the beach after we just lived overseas for over a decade.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, no,
exactly.
I get it. Oh,
So, no, it's been fun to watch. As you said, excuse me, as I said, the women made a big jump in the 70s. Mm-hmm. And then you had UH and UCLA and those teams doing well.
Yep.
And that kept the women going. The men made somewhat of a jump before that, but it was really, the National Training Center was in Ohio.
Right.
Early.
Ohio, really?
Yeah, and it was.
I don't think I heard of that.
It was, and Doug Beal, who did a great job, and was our CEO and everything. Was from Ohio or that area.
Oh.
And then they moved out to California and started training in San Diego.
Yeah.
Then you got some of those great athletes that are in the volleyball game. That gym of the '84 Olympic team was scary.
Yeah.
There were 12 guys that fought and scraped for every single point in play.
Yeah.
So now we talk about that culture.
Yeah.
Doug, because of some desires to play a little bit more, make some more money, lost a couple of the top players who opted not to be a part of that team.
Right. Yeah, yeah, yeah. The beach, right?
Yeah, Hovland and St. John Smith.
Dodd, was he part
Dodd
of that?
wasn't on that
Okay,
team in
got
the
it.
80 to 84.
Hovland and Smith.
Yeah, but but you've got Dusty Dvorak was the setter,
Yep.
and I grew up with Dusty, so he would throw you in the wall. Playing basketball, he'd push you in the wall and say, "What foul?"
Okay,
He was going to
yeah.
win no matter what.
Competitive.
Very.
Yes.
But then you've got Karch.
Uh-huh.
You had Timmons,
Yeah.
Pat Powers.
Yep.
I mean, the guys that just competed and fought.
Mm-hmm.
Aldous Berzins, who was, quote, the other passer besides Karch,
Right.
because they went to two-man service Eve.
Oh, what? Really?
Yeah.
Oh, geez.
And and then Craig Buck.
They didn't have libero back then, right? Yeah.
Libero didn't come in until the end of the 90s.
Okay. Yeah.
So, which really, the purpose for that libero was to make the rallies go longer and longer.
Okay. Yeah.
And I
Get
think
some
that's
specialized back there. Yeah.
Yeah, but I think it's also good for especially the women's game and the men's game, because now you're a smaller person
Yeah.
with good skills and
Yeah.
wants to work at it, wants to be on the floor,
Yeah.
has a position.
So true. Like, you look at Eric Shoji, right? Maybe the greatest, certainly greatest American libero ever.
Yeah.
I grew up playing on the club team with him, right?
Right.
And he was our setter. And then for Punahou, because he's the smartest player on the floor, we knew he knew volleyball better than all of us.
Yeah.
So we wanted him as setting, but his block was pretty small.
Right.
And then for high school, Punahou, they had a setter. They had Riley, so
Riley
they're like,
McKibben,
well, we need to use Eric more, So Eric was the outside hitter,
Right.
small block, but like he got the job done.
Right.
And then obviously the pro level, everyone just keeps getting bigger. We've outgrown Eric, so he's stuck with his bread and butter libero. But can you imagine if that position didn't exist and a guy like him wasn't able to be on the floor just because he got sized out?
So true. Well, his environment, I've had breakfast, lunch, and dinner with the Shojis many times.
Right, yeah.
And we don't talk about anything else except volleyball.
They are competitive.
They are competitive. Mary was a college basketball player at UH.
Right.
And obviously, Dave went to Santa Barbara to play baseball. Ended up
that's right. Yep.
playing volleyball with Dennis Berg.
Mm-hmm.
And I learned so much coaching with him, not about fundamental stuff because I kind of had a handle on that, but about gamesmanship.
Huh.
Making adjustments during the game that allow your team to be successful.
Interesting.
He was way beyond where I was at that time.
Maybe beyond everyone because he was dominating for his whole career, right?
Right.
Is that what you say? What you would think? Because I was too young to like really appreciate what he was able to do at the NCAA level. I think in terms of like what you're talking about, gamesmanship and the X's and O's of coaching and how to build a team. But he was the greatest at one point, right? He got passed maybe in wins at some. There's been
Russ
some great
Rose,
coaches since.
Yeah.
But what do you think separated Dave Shoji?
He understood, he played for a long time and he understood that next level. Like we had a girl, Deetra Collins, on that team, and Deetra was this really good middle, but she, after the service eve, she kind of was not really functional. Mm-hmm. Well, Dave knew about the importance of transition, running your middle. If you look at percentage of your hitters, the highest percentage hitter on every team is the middle.
Right. Yep.
So he worked on, we had ball control people. The Pulaskis were amazing. Marcy Wirtz could pass and dig. And then worked on Deetra getting off and getting back up. Mm-hmm. Diane Sebastian Pestalacci was before that. And she was so quick and so determined that middle transition was something the women's game hadn't really seen. And he implemented that, and then Lisa Strand came in, and she could play anywhere.
Yeah.
Was a great. She and her sister Kelly. We recruited both of them. And Kelly went to Santa Barbara, and then Cal Poly San Luis Obispo. But they looked identical.
Oh yeah.
And they would play in tournaments and wear the same bathing suit.
Oh wow.
And when one would start having a little trouble, all of a sudden they
just switch or something.
Yeah, just switch, and they didn't. The opponents would go, "Now, which side is she?"
Yeah,
because they looked the same.
Which one was playing bad?
Yeah,
we lost.
Who was
track.
that girl that just shanked it? Yeah, where is she?
I love that.
So, but I think that was part of it. Also, the value of the serve. You can The serve, a lot of people think of the really good servers just crank it,
Right.
Hit it hard, and
Yeah.
that's all. Well, the real value is beyond that.
Yeah.
Serving spots to isolate hitters, or serving spots to change their offense, to do different things, and that's what Dave was really good at
Change
too.
how the setter receives the ball.
Exactly.
And where.
He'd serve deep cross court in the back right corner, area 1 for everybody. Your setter's looking over their shoulder at the ball, and now the net's over here. You can't see it, can't see your hitter, and you can't see the block.
Your peripheral, yeah, you can't get that little look in at the block, huh?
Right.
Interesting.
So,
Yeah.
or if you're running combinations,
Yep.
you drop the ball short cross court,
Right.
and then you got the hitters running into the passers.
Yeah.
There's a lot of different ways you can go, or you do that for a couple of times, and then you look short and serve deep.
Yeah.
Just
sure.
things
Catch 'em
you
high.
set up as you're going.
Yeah.
So.
Got my brain working back in indoor mode a little bit.
Yeah.
It's been a long time for me.
Let's go back to beach.
Yeah, no, I love it. I love it
Yeah.
all. That's the cool part, is that you have a perspective on both of them. And what I'm super interested too is just like, and I don't know if I'm going to get into coaching or what I'm going to get into post-career, but what is interesting to me, I hear so many people talk about, obviously, like my generation and the generation just around me within a few years, so many of us have been developed off this famous baby court, right, at Outrigger. I think there's something to it, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Is there any... my brain kind of just like keeps brainstorming ways that we can maybe change how youth play volleyball to cater it a little bit more towards them being able to play it at a more, what I would call a higher level in terms of like actually executing on the skills. I feel like at the youth level, very small level, first of all, the ball hurts their arms, and it's just get the ball. It's just, you're just playing, get the ball over the net.
Right.
There's nothing else to it, but we were able to shrink the court down, bring the net down, and I can 100% remember the moments that I learned how to block on the baby court. 100%. That's where I learned.
Yep.
Blocking my friends,
Yep.
who ended up being very good later.
Yeah.
But them kind of being like, what the heck? Like, that's not fair. It's cheat. And I was like, yeah, I'll just reach over the net and grab the ball. And before
you were probably playing for a milkshake or something.
Yeah,
too.
we were. Oh, and
Yeah.
we were competitive.
Yeah.
That volleyball for milkshakes, exactly.
Yeah.
We wrote a book called Volleyball for Milkshakes. I don't know if you've seen it.
Yeah.
But I remember specifically like learning how to penetrate over the net, and that it was my advantage. And I started like trying to swallow the ball, like really grab it on the other side of the net, and just driving my friends crazy. And I loved it. And that's where my blocking ability started, was being able to learn that, but like way earlier than anyone else.
Right. And that allowed you to be in the situation where you could do that.
Yeah, and I had a head start on it.
I know that John Spra, who now is the CEO of USA Volleyball, is trying to think about it along those same lines.
Yeah.
Find some things that 5, 6, 7, 8-year-olds can play and enjoy and learn this game from that level and just build on that. Whether it's, they talk about balloons, playing with a balloon.
Yeah.
They have the light balls, obviously the lower net. Baby court, as you know, I mean, you got some good players that came from there, but there's a lot of hit and giggle going on over there too,
Yeah, but that's how it should be, I feel
Yeah.
like. There's so much specialization. I was just talking with one of the soccer dads. I was at soccer practice for my daughter the other day, and he's from New Zealand, and he's like, man, we don't do it like that back home. Like, the kids are having fun, and like he's saying for his older boys, like, it's just getting too intense, and they're wearing his kids out to where they're not enjoying it as much. Baby court, we were playing volleyball half the time.
Yeah.
Other than that, we were playing dodgeball under the net,
Right.
or like nuke-em ball, or like whatever, kick each other in the face ball,
Yeah.
anything and everything. But the fact that we were up there competing, getting touches, learning. And then you had the older guys come in and, you know, Mark Hain and
kick you off the court,
punch us in the ribs or something.
Yeah.
But then tell us, like, hey, you guys play real volleyball. Like, I want to see it.
Yeah.
And he'd throw little tournaments for his son's birthday for us and put $20 on the line. And we would all
remember that.
freak out.
Yeah.
We would just be, I mean, whoever lost was just such sore losers. And, you know, but we learned how to compete at a young age. And
a great spot in your development.
Yeah.
All those players.
Yeah, exactly.
You know,
100%.
You look at Micah Christensen and Micah, the Shojis.
Yep.
You look at the Crabs. You look at you. I mean, there's so
McKibbins.
many McKibbins.
Yeah.
So many.
And then the generations before us, the Wongs,
Yep.
Sean Scott,
Right.
Lambeau, Stein.
Yep.
And majority of those players spent a significant amount of time on the baby court.
Yeah.
I'd be willing to bet that I spent the most time there, not just from what I remember.
Yeah.
But they were all down there. I mean, at least the guys around my age, I was there, and they would all come down and play very often.
Touching on what you just talked about specialization, I've always told people the players from Hawaii that come out, because they surf, because they paddle, because they swim, as well as play volleyball, always have success once they hit a point when they want to specialize.
Yeah.
In it, like you did
Exactly.
it every sport.
Yes, 100%.
And that was what was so important with all the rigs and all those people that came through is they had development in other sports. You know, I was a basketball player, became a volleyball player.
Yeah.
When I started coaching, the first thing I did, I was at Newport Harbor. My friend Ron Kuhn had played at UCLA and was a beach friend. You know, we played on the beach. Came to me. He said, "I'm the varsity coach at Newport Harbor. Will you be my JV coach?" And I said, "Yeah, I'll be your JV coach for one season."
Yeah.
Here I am, 50 years later,
Right.
still doing this in this sport.
Yeah.
The first thing I did was go to this friend of mine's friend, who was just, it's kind of tall, but his arms were, he could tie his shoes standing up straight. His arms were so long.
Yeah.
And he was a great basketball player and a great guy. And I said, his name was Steve Timmons.
Oh, wow.
And I said, "Steve, I want you to come out. I'm going to coach the JV team at Newport. I want you to be on my volleyball team."
No way.
And he said, "Charlie, I see these guys dive." He goes, I don't think I want to dive. I go, "Don't worry, you won't have to dive." And he goes, "That underhand passing thing, I'm not very good at that. Don't worry, you won't have to pass." So he came out, played JV for a month, and then they pulled him up to the varsity. I didn't, see him again.
He was just a freak athlete, huh?
Oh, he was a great athlete, but he had to, there was a little nudge I gave him to say, this is a great game for you.
Right.
And he was a great basketball player.
I'm sure.
I mean, he went to Orange Coast College, sat out a year after high school as he grew 3 inches. His knees hurt and all that.
For sure.
Then he went to Orange Coast College, junior college, won the state championship in basketball, lost in the finals for the state championship in volleyball, and then went to SC and played with Hovland and Dusty and Obradovich and Celso Colaci and all these really, really good players. Fast forward a little bit, 84 Olympics. So I'm the scoreboard operator at the 84 Olympics, the greatest job in the world.
Okay.
Point for
You
U.S.
had a good seat? Did they give you a good seat?
Great seat.
Okay,
I'm
good.
right there in front. I'm watching it all.
Yeah.
And it was an interesting thing internationally. And this is something that's kind of a little bit above what you would really think about. There's almost a philosophy on the matches that aren't really that significant. You maybe use a different lineup, look a little different than you're going to look.
Right.
84 Olympics, our USA team was in the same pool with Brazil.
Yep.
And Brazil beat our men in the pool play.
Okay.
3 straight. Of course, USA didn't play Timmons, didn't play Karch. They used all the guys, because if you're on an Olympic team, you have to play a point to get a medal.
I see.
So they used everybody else. Now, so U.S. is second.
Right.
Well, you go through the playoffs, and here we are in the finals.
Yep.
USA, Brazil. And now all of a sudden, Karch is out there. Timmons is out there. All of them are out there.
And had Brazil used all of its players yet, or it still had to?
No,
This was
still, they'd used some of those bench players. But anyway, USA won.
Yeah.
And so in those days, I had a casual sportswear store in Newport called Charlie's Brande of sportswear.
Oh, wow. Nice.
Kind
I love
of
that.
people still remember the name. They don't remember really what it was,
No way.
but Steve came in with a picture of him hitting over the Brazilian guys and said, "Would you hang this up in your store?" And I said, "Absolutely." I go, "Steve, I was the scoreboard operator for the whole Olympics. I watched you play every single point you played. And as I watched, you still don't dive and you still don't pass, and you were the MVP of the whole thing." So, that was his transition to where he was.
Yeah, that's crazy.
A couple weeks ago, he's coaching at San Diego State with Brent Hilliard.
Oh, really?
Who was also an Olympian in '92. And they came and played UCI, where I do an ESPN broadcast for UCI volleyball, both men and women. And he came, and then after the match, he came, and this is where coaching, I think, might be good for you. He came up afterward and said, "Charlie, I just want to say thank you, because you patterned my life, my future in those days." Now, obviously, I'm getting a little misty-eyed because it means a lot. But
for sure.
But that's how the little things along the way can really be a significant point in people's lives.
Right. Definitely. Yeah, it's cool. Like as I grow up through the sport and finish my chapters as a player here, you just start to realize that a lot of the values coming from those relationships, and not quite as much from the wins and losses as you think. Not as much of the values coming from there as you think they are in the moment.
Right.
But when you step back from it, it's the inspiration maybe that you gave someone else, or the impact you had, or something like that. And
you know what else, Charlie, that's really interesting is, because I have new families that come and play, and they, a couple of months into it, they go, "You guys all know each other. You're friends with everybody."
Right. Yeah.
And they go, that's really unusual. And I go, this game of volleyball, it's dependent on all six or two partners being able to do what they have to do to make the thing work, for the thing to function.
Yeah.
Everybody has a skill they have to take care of. Yeah. And because of that, you feel such a responsibility to your teammates.
Right.
That you don't see. And then there's also a goal. You've got to get to 25 or 21.
Right.
You've got to get there.
Yeah.
And human nature is you get to 15 in your head, let up a little. You're ahead.
Right.
And you let up and the momentum's gone and you lose.
Yeah.
So you have that whole understanding of that really draws people close.
Yeah.
And the responsibility to your teammates.
Yeah, no, it is wild. Like my friends, half my friends who were players are now the coaches in NCAA or club or whatever it is, and I'm like, you guys are just traveling around the country and just hanging out with each other all the time. It seems like you see these club tournaments, and it's like once the tournament's over, it's just all the coaches hanging out with each other all night, and then going out and helping the kids, and it's such a community thing for sure. Well,
even college coaches,
right?
The NC2A, the Final Four.
Exactly.
There's a whole convention there. All the coaches, and high school to college to club, everybody, and that the closeness is just so unique. But so special.
Yeah, for sure. Is that what you feel like? Like, what's kept you in the sport all this time?
I used to say how lucky I was because I coach a game that I love to kids.
Yeah.
And it was funny. And when I first did it, I went 10 years and nobody ever paid anybody.
Right, yeah.
You just did it for the love of the game and the kids.
Yeah.
Well, now, as we've gone through the times, it's now way more about making a lot of money and a little less about really the kids in the game.
What do you think contributes to that? Like, is it the times as well, where it's maybe harder, maybe more expensive?
It could be a little bit more expensive.
So people are a little more stressed about the money?
I think one thing is past success. People will look and say, "Oh, if I get my daughter in club, they'll get a full ride."
Oh yeah.
which is not how you start. It's
And NIL now, right?
an NIL.
Yeah.
You know, how you, I mean, that's not how you
No.
develop a love for the game
No.
and a passion, because it's going to give you something monetarily in the end.
Yeah.
And it's the NIL and the portal in college sports.
It's gone.
It's
very
gone
far.
crazy.
It's gone crazy.
And it's going to be, you know, as a coach, John Wooden always said, you call me a teacher, not a coach.
Right.
Because that's what you do, is you teach.
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of gone from that. You know, rather than taking a good athlete and teaching them to play,
Right.
you have to now be a psychologist and know what to say so everybody's always happy.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I'm going to the portal, going somewhere else. Or you take a good athlete that's not a very good volleyball player, you teach them for 2 years, they get good, they go in the portal, see you later.
Right.
On their way. And it's not what, there's nobody teaching loyalty.
Right. And perhaps it's coming from even higher up, right? Like, what are the pressures and expectations put on coaches now for them to run a program as a teacher versus a we need to win or I'm going to lose my job kind of job, right? Versus, because that would probably change, I would guess, how you teach your athletes and what lessons you're trying to convey, right? Versus like,
Absolutely.
win at all costs. I'm just going to do whatever it takes to make this team win versus like, no, this girl or this kid like needs to learn this lesson right now, and I need to take this time to teach it to them, even if it's going to be a little bit of a detriment to the team. You know, give a little now and maybe we'll get more later, but it's going to take a year to develop them or something like that.
One of my really good friends and a really, really important guy in the growth of volleyball in Southern California is Dan Glenn.
Okay.
Dan Glenn was a math, econ, civics teacher at Newport Harbor for 40 years and coached the boys and the girls. And people would go, well, when is he going to move on to college?
Right.
And I said, never, because he understands the importance of being a teacher, has every senior in his class before they leave Newport Harbor High School. And he's a good volleyball coach too.
Yeah.
And so they get success, but it really is a role model that now I look at, you know, some of his former players are back doing the same thing.
Yeah.
Teaching and coaching high school.
Yeah.
And understanding how important that role model is.
Yeah, that's interesting. Because when I think about coaching, I'm like, I don't want to deal with kids that don't really want to be there, and I'm just there to grab a paycheck, and you know, I'd rather like an athlete reach out to me for free, and I'll just give you all my information. You know, like, you want it, perfect, I'll give you all my information. But like, if I feel like I'm here and I'm just running you through because your parents signed you up and that kind of thing, that's when I'm like, I think you lost me, which makes me think, okay, I'm maybe more built for like coaching pros or something, because they want it. If you made it as far as a pro and you're out here paying a coach like with your own money, then you want it and you want the information. But I've also seen and I've benefited from people like yourself, and so many others. The one that comes to mind is Charlie Jenkins.
Charlie was the best.
Yeah, he was like an uncle to me. I was best friends with me and my siblings were like best friends with all of his kids.
Okay.
And he's the one that got me to play indoor volleyball for the first time, because I was playing in this backyard with the volleyball net strung up between the house and the plumeria tree. And he's like, hey, we're going to practice. Try, you're coming. I'm like, what? Because I just sleep over I was just at their house all the time. Yeah. He's like, hey, you're good enough. Let's go. I'm like, okay, whatever. I show up. It's like McLaughlin, McKibben, Jenkins, like Shoji's, that like top tier youth team. And I had I'd only played like on the beach for fun. Yeah. And Dave's there coaching, Peter Ehrman, you know, like these top tier people. I had no idea who they were. Yeah. I'm like, these people are really good at volleyball. Yeah. But Uncle Charlie's the one that was like, you're coming. I'm going to show you how you're going to play volleyball. Some of my most memorable times at the Outrigger were sitting with Charlie Jenkins, talking volleyball. Having a Budweiser. Having a bud in a bucket. Yeah. They always have that bucket of ice and bud in the bucket, always. Yeah, I always thought it was just so cool and unique that he because I think he easily could have coached NCAA. Like any team would have been lucky to have him. He's perhaps one of the most successful youth club coaches ever, which with the runs that he made with, people don't realize that he was one of Micah Christensen's first coaches. I remember when he told me, I was in the gym we were probably right about to go to college, me and Riley McKibb. Riley's the best setter in the state. Me and Riley, he tells us, he's like, I got a younger kid on my youth team. It was probably 13s or 14s right at that time, 12, 13. He's like, he's better than all of you. Kavika, Riley, all of you. And we're like, dude, how could you say that? Like, these dudes are, Kavika's at Stanford, Riley's about to go to USC. Like, that's a bold statement.
Yeah.
It's Micah Christensen.
Yeah.
He saw it at that young of an age.
Yeah.
And, he was so unique. But I just thought it was cool, and I think it's been such a good influence on me and kind of my way of thinking of sports and in terms of giving back is when you look at guys like this who are really doing it, they're like, no, I want to develop players at a young level, not when they get to where they're trying to compete for bigger things necessarily, but when they're really like falling in love with the game and teaching them at that time. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And I think you fall into that category for me as well, now that I've gotten to know you a little bit better.
Right. Well, I think that's, again, as a teacher, the value you get in helping and seeing where they go with it is way more important than the money.
Yeah.
But there are club directors buying brand new homes and whatever.
Right.
Because it's,
yeah,
it's kind of blown out of proportion.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
And that's the tricky part too, right? Like, it's okay to want to make a really good living, right? So like, how do you balance? Like, I know I want to be the type of person that makes, 6 figures plus. But then I also want to coach youth or something, right?
Help
and
kids,
then
yeah.
I want to help kids too. And it's like, how do you balance the two and go about it in the right way? I actually don't know that. So like,
well, yeah, it's your personal decision at some time.
Right.
What am I going to do? Which way do I go on this?
You have to like know what's guiding your decisions and actions and like the things that you're doing for the kids. Like, is it coming from that place of I need to make a certain X amount to survive or whatever? Or is it coming from like, I want to do what's best for this kid?
Right.
In that moment.
I was faced with a really tough, choice. I like to use the word choice rather than decision.
Right.
Because decision is like right or wrong.
Yeah.
Choice is
yes.
You can have vanilla ice cream, chocolate ice cream. You can have strawberry.
Right.
What's your choice?
Right.
Is a way different thing. But I was offered the head women's coaching job at USC, your Trojans.
Mm-hmm.
And for more money than I ever thought anybody would pay a volleyball coach.
Uh-huh.
It was flattering. But my daughter was 5 years old. And I lived in Costa Mesa, Newport.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd already coached at UCLA for a year and commuted from Newport to UCLA.
Yeah.
So I already hated driving on the freeway.
Yeah.
And so I went back and forth, and they countered every time I'd say no. They'd come back with, another offer.
Yeah.
And finally, they kind of used some leverage. They go, well, Mick Haley's got the national team now, but if you don't take the job, we'll hire Jared Elliott as the interim and give Mick the job in a year.
Right.
So you better take it.
Uh-huh.
And I just thought, my daughter's 5.
Yeah.
And this is what I will give up by doing this, which is great, prestigious, and really a nice reward. But I made the right choice at that time.
Wow.
Although it was tough.
Yeah. No, for sure. That's cool. That's cool to hear from me now, because that was a huge part of my decision to retire. And I think people still, with the way that I was playing, it was only a month ago, but on the way out, a lot of people just seem confused and like, why would you stop playing?
Didn't you lead the Manhattan Open in blocks?
Yeah.
Yeah, on your way out.
Yeah. See, that's that pride and joy I always took in blocking since the baby court. I wanted to go out
the way you came in.
Go out the way I came in, exactly. Yeah. But I think that's and I just went to an event this weekend where my daughter came with me. I accepted an award for an ambassador award for the autoimmune disease I have, and bringing awareness to that. But like bringing her with me and having her kind of see me make the right choices and trying to do the right things for the right reasons. I'm starting to feel like that yes, this is the right choice.
That's really what it's all about. The most important thing. Mm-hmm. And I'm proud of you.
Thank you. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Oh, your broadcasting career. That's also something that I've gotten into a little bit. And
you're good at it. You're good.
I never know in the moment whether I'm doing well or not. But how long you been doing broadcasting?
Well, yeah, even when in the 70s, I used to announce the varsity games.
Okay.
Starting lineup and now serving, those things. Mm-hmm. And obviously kind of got away from that once I came here. Yeah. And then I went to UCLA, and obviously I wasn't there. And then in the 80s, I started doing that. But that's kind of, you just announce what's happening.
Right.
Now I'm in I sold Balboa Bay Volleyball Club to Travis Turner, who was with me for 20 plus years.
Yeah, I've heard his name since I was a kid as well. People love that guy.
Yeah, he does a tremendous job. And really cares about kids.
Love that, yeah.
Which is really important.
Right.
But, they say if you're dropping something, you better have your hand on something else.
Right.
To fall into.
Yes.
And so I was lucky enough that David Niffen, the UCI people, came and said, we're going to do a broadcast on ESPN Plus. Mm. And Rob Sparrow, who is one of the best.
Yes, for sure.
Announcing, and just a great guy.
I had the pleasure of getting on the mic with him for the first time in the Hermosa Open.
How good is he?
So easy. Yeah. So easy going
so
with him.
Easy.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I said, yeah, I'd love to. But now it's different. When you broadcast, you got to know the personnel before you ever get there. And you got to study this all week long. You got to study tendencies. You got to study old stories. You got to study the strategies that each coach has. And then Rob will say something like, "What do you think the coach is saying at this timeout?"
Right.
Well, I'm the color guy. I better say something that's true.
Right.
And I've researched it, so I know that.
Right.
But I was going to tell you, my first time with him, first broadcast, I do all my homework. I get in there, I'm really ready to go, and he throws the thing over to me, and I go with my spiel, and then I end, and then I kind of panic. I go dead air. They say no dead air. And then Rob just hops in and he goes, "That's number 42. And he just stats and the whole thing. And I go, that's the sign of a professional.
Yes.
And because of that, I always feel comfortable doing my job.
Yeah, 100%.
Because he's there to back me up.
That's Travis for me on the podcast.
Right.
His brain, he's the journal, his foundation is sports journalism and interviewing people and interviewing athletes and collecting that information and retaining it. And the podcast, there's no way I would have done it without him because it's so hard. Like, obviously I've gotten better to where I can do it by myself, interview people by myself now. Thank you. It's taken years. We're 7 years in, but before it was like, if I had a guest alone, it was like, how do I fill this dead space? And, like keep this conversation flowing. And with Travis, I would just freeze. I would be like, let's get to the end of what I was saying and be like, and I just look at him and he'd be like, and he'd perfectly continue it every time. I'm just like, oh, thank you.
Professional. That's what professionals do.
Yeah. So I've learned a bit about that. And I think that's helped me not only in podcasting, but in broadcasting a bit. But when you get two people who have a really good chemistry on the mic, that's when you can really engage the fan base.
Rob played Balboa Bay, was a setter. He always kids about that. Uh-huh. And so I've known him since he was in high school. Yeah. And he went to Irvine and then became, started just announcing the matches, college matches, and has built it from there. Yeah. So he's great. Let me ask you this. Yeah. I'm kind of, I tell people, critique me. Let me know what I need to do better. Tell me what, things I'm doing that need to get better. Yeah. So I get comments about how much they like when I do history.
Yeah.
Because I've seen it all. I mean,
Yeah.
I've been through it all,
100%.
50 years of it. Or if you talk about strategy, well, you were serving deep cross court. That's the longest part of the court.
Yeah.
That's the hypotenuse of this triangle.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
all that stuff. Or
Yes.
the coach is doing this with his offense, trying to bring the block in.
Right.
Then they'll set outside over it, or they're trying to spread the off. Things, the strategic things.
Yes.
So then I started thinking, well, which audience am I talking to?
Right.
Because that's
Yeah.
a lot of stuff.
Yeah, that's hard. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes I question that kind of stuff as well, but I think we probably all got to know our strengths. Like you said, like talking the history of sport, like you've been in the arena, like I can't talk about it nearly even close to like how you can talk about it. So like just bringing our best strengths to the table. And I think there's like understanding what brings value to the product as a whole, right? The game that's happening and the broadcast and everything, like it's a piece of entertainment value, right? So is it you're inspiring someone, you're teaching them something new, you're I don't know, exciting them, even making them angry sometimes. Like as a player, I don't know how you do that as a broadcaster, but
like Howard Cosell.
Yeah, maybe a hot take, right?
Yeah.
Or like you have these Stephen A. Smiths of the world, like
Exactly.
where they just throw down a point where like half the people are like, "What? No way!"
Yeah, I love it.
But like they feel something,
Yeah.
and they have like that moment or whatever that they remember from it. And I think first of all, man, you have to just love it, because you're not going to have if you're faking it, or the only reason I can do this is because I was out there on the court, and that's the value that I bring is the fact that when I talk about someone blocking or someone doing something on the court, I've been there, and the fan knows that I've been in that situation. So to get that perspective, but I think all broadcasters don't have to have that same perspective and thing that they're bringing to the table, right?
I think showing that you love the game is really, really important. Then the listeners pick up on that,
right?
And they feel that love and dedication to our game.
Yeah, when you have that, and it seems like you really did your homework, which comes naturally to the ones that love it, like yourself or Travis or Rob, Geeter.
Yeah,
like you could just tell, like these people
Geeter's the best,
they don't have to like dig for this information.
Right.
They have it, and they're excited to share it with you.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Really increases. I always try and get to the college matches about 2.5 hours early.
Mm-hmm.
And sit down with a coach,
yes.
all of whom I know,
yes,
and talk about how's the family, what are your kids doing,
yep.
all that stuff, and then get some backstories, and then that's really makes it easy to get into why are you running this now? What's your philosophy tonight when you attack this?
Yes.
Then you can give some insight into what they're doing.
Yes,
because when we were talking to Coach
mm-hmm.
Bourne, he said he liked this player hitting the ball in crucial situations.
Right.
So let's look for that.
Yes.
Little things like that. Or, Coach Spra is really enjoying playing volleyball with his daughters now.
Right.
Just things that are human nature.
Yes. Connecting the players or the coaches
and their
the
family.
Team with or family with in like a relatable way with the fan, right? And like I guess being the one that makes that connection stronger.
Right.
Yeah, no, I love broadcasting for that reason, and you can really tell when certain people haven't done their homework or just haven't been in it. Like you hear a broadcast, I've heard it before, and I'm sitting there listening. I'm like, you don't know this player, do you? Like, I mean, half of them, like, that's the beauty of this SANDCAST, right? Like, I've sat down with this person for over an hour and just had a conversation about all these things already. So when I jump on the podcast or broadcast, and it's an athlete that I've had on the podcast, which sometimes is all the players at this point.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is too easy because I have all the information, but I've heard many broadcasters over the years, whether it's volleyball or other sports, and I'm just like, you didn't do your homework. You haven't been out there. You don't understand what's actually happening. You're giving me this vanilla surface thing. I can see it. maybe some fans can't see through it, but I don't think you're connecting with them on a deeper level like some of these people that I've mentioned before can, because like you said, like you want to be there 2 hours early. You want to connect with, and that information you gain, right, isn't like, it's not, oh, I have to go say this. It's like you just have it. So when it comes up, when things come up, you just have all this relevant information.
It's the time. It's the time.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You know, it's interesting. I think this is one of the problems with broadcasting is the streaming has increased so drastically quickly. The number of ESPN Plus broadcasts, you look down there, you can see every game.
Right. Yeah.
And now, but the number of broadcasters aren't keeping up with that. So quite often, especially,
Right.
you'll see some schools will probably just went in, pulled out some person out of the communications department.
Yeah, that's true.
Said, come broadcast volleyball.
Yeah.
And they don't know the rules. They don't know anything. And
Yeah.
they think it's broadcasting.
Yeah.
Well, it's not broadcasting unless you know and feel and have your heart in it.
Yeah.
And as you say, I mean, that's evident.
Yeah, for
so
sure.
often.
Yeah. No, it's interesting. And do you follow like NFL much?
Oh, yeah.
So they have like the Peyton and Eli broadcast.
Love those two guys.
I'm like, oh, I love that, because I'm like, me and Travis could easily do that. It'd be so fun to just do a podcast, but while we're actually watching the game.
Yeah, back and forth.
Yeah, I mean, it would take some money to actually get it going and whatnot, but I love that part of it where broadcasting has gone to, and you have like guys like in the NBA that stand out, like Richard Jefferson, where he comes from a little bit more of a podcasting background, and and Reggie Miller's really good at it, Coach Van Gundy, and but you feel like you're a part of a conversation during the game. They're not skipping a beat, they're not missing the game, but also you're just in a conversation with people who you know can connect you to it on a deeper level.
All those people you talked about have been there.
Right.
They've been there.
Exactly.
They know that. And they understand they've got to sell the audience on this added information they're putting in, which is, that's what sells podcasting. You know?
And they're making the big buck. Those guys have it right.
They're
being authentic, and they're making the big buck.
They've all paid their dues.
Oh, yeah. No, for sure.
A long time.
For sure. And the pressure and scrutiny of doing it on that stage is quite big as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Can't slip and say something you shouldn't say.
No, yeah. You get canceled instantly.
Bleep.
Over here, I just edit it out.
Yeah, right.
Whoops, sorry.
Perfect.
Or just Instagram. Sorry about that. Yeah, it's been fun.
Yeah.
So what do you got going now? You mentioned you sold Balboa Bay Club.
Right. So I'm doing the ESPN broadcast,
the
which
broadcast.
I really do it well, and I'm announcing high school games for Newport Harbor and Corona Del Mar, both schools that I coached at.
So just staying updated on
all
of
the
it.
People. When you get away from it, that's what you miss are the people.
Yeah.
You miss the people. Obviously, you kind of miss the competition, but the people, whether it's coaches or referees or just the people.
Yeah.
And that's what this does, is get me involved with those guys.
Right. And what keeps you going back? Like, because I mentioned I see you in Hawaii. You're there for 3 months out of the year. What keeps you going back there?
I love that place.
Mm-hmm.
People always ask you, well, now that you're back, do you miss the surf? Do you miss the sun? No. I miss the people, and I miss the food.
Yeah.
Hawaii's the best.
Yes, 100%.
So great.
I just went and got some Hawaiian food over here.
Did you? Plate
last
lunch?
night. Yeah. Kalua pig, two types of poke, mac salad, kimchi. Yeah, there's a good spot over here in Redondo that people don't realize. Ali'i Hawaiian for people in the South Bay.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah. But same as me, I can't not be back home for at least a part of the year. I'm trying to make that longer and longer. It's harder with kids now.
Well, trust me, when I see you over there, you are definitely happy.
Yeah, right.
And chasing your daughter and talking to your friends and doing all the things you do. You're definitely happy.
I'm happy, exactly. 100%. I'm happy just thinking about it. As we end summer right now, I heard that yesterday. I think it was yesterday.
first day of fall yesterday.
First day of fall, I was like, oh no.
Yeah.
Like my heart was like,
Yeah, drops.
Sunshine, no, don't get cold. Although it can get pretty nice in October and whatnot over
I
here.
think September, October is the best weather here.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
I mean, I like the heat, but
Yeah.
yeah, that's true. It gets nice.
Yeah. And sunsets. Sunsets in September, October are really good.
We got a lot to look forward to.
Yeah, we do. Yeah, we do.
Are you going down to the Newport 4-man, but also the elite FIVB tournament?
I will, for sure. The guys that put on that 4-man
Yeah.
2 years ago, Steve
Bradovich,
yep. And the guy that has all those restaurants in there, Mario, has Blackies and all those things.
Yeah.
And then the Balboa Bay Club president is behind it. And then there's another supporter, Dave Pyle, that's behind it. And they've really done a good job of raising money.
Yeah.
Bo Bradovich was smart. He went right to Taylor and Trevor and said, let's get this involved. And you, I hope, I don't know.
A little bit. Yeah. I was a little beat up the last few years, but they asked me to come down and play in this little like Legends exhibition thing.
Perfect.
So I'll jump in on that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll play with the older guys now.
Yeah. I love it.
Yeah. No, I'm looking forward to it as well. We got it. I want to say October
11th.
Yeah. So if people are around, come check us out down there. You'll be down there.
I'll be down there. I'll be down there. But even the week leading up to that there's an FIVB doubles tournament there, which is the international thing.
Yeah.
And it's at Newport. I don't know where they're going to find parking for everybody because there's not a lot of parking there.
Maybe they shuttle in or something.
Maybe. That's probably, I'm sure they've been
thinking about it, right?
Yeah, and if the tide, because they have it, there's a parking lot there out in front of Blackie's, and then from the parking lot to the break, the ocean, is enough to put a volleyball court unless the tide gets really high.
Oh, interesting.
And then, so we'll have to see get your tide chart out to figure out if we're going to get flooded or not.
Yeah, there's enough space there. It's a good spot for, like, especially because we haven't had many in the last 2 decades or so.
For years, Newport didn't allow tournaments.
Oh, wow, okay.
Because of the old days when Cuervo and those...
They trashed the beach.
There was too much partying and too much... They had a big Corona, which is an extremely affluent area above that.
Yeah.
And they outlawed them all.
Oh, wow.
Well, a couple of years ago, this group went to the city and got it approved to do this.
Well, we don't really party quite as much as they used to in the 80s, 90s.
Crazy.
I don't think anyone parties as hard as they did back then.
Well, 70s and 80s or 90s.
Okay, yeah.
Kind of wild.
Yeah.
Laguna Beach Open was renowned for that.
Yeah.
The 4-man is really interesting because the first year they didn't really advertise. So people are walking by with their beach chairs, walking on the boardwalk, and they say, "Oh, look, they're playing volleyball. Oh, look, that guy Taylor Crab's pretty good. Oh, watch these rallies." And then watching the girls' game, and they go, "These girls are good."
Yeah.
So now they open their chair up, sit down.
Right.
By the middle of the afternoon, there's 2,000 people there that didn't even know about it 5 hours earlier.
Yeah, exactly.
And then the word of mouth. When's the next year?
Like, is there any other pro sport that works like that, where it's just like we're just gonna plop down and get people walking by?
No. But that was what's so great about volleyball.
Yeah.
You're on the court. You're next to him. There's the sideline, and you're there talking to Bradovich, and he's talking back at you, and and his partner's talking.
The interaction between the players and the crowd, which has kind of gotten lost a little bit in the.
A lot, I think.
A lot. There are a few players who still kind of push that envelope a little bit.
Don't you think the international philosophy about maybe not wanting to see that type of action, has influenced that?
Yeah, no, for sure. I think better or worse, I don't know, but definitely the game going to the World Tour and then also to the Olympics has kind of like tightened it up a little bit and made it less of that authentic, just like raw entertainment value that it brought back in the day. And I think the athletes aren't getting, there's just no incentive, or like they're not being taught that that's valuable to connect with fans, to go out there and promote themselves, promote the tour themselves.
Go play, they go home.
Well, they're used to in college too. You're used to, you have indoor college players and beach college players now, and yeah, they're used to coming from college. Coach, tell me what time to get on the bus, what color uniform to wear, where to go. Am I playing? Am I not? Whereas beach, the culture really is like, I'm going to build this whole thing from scratch by myself. I'm going to be a pro athlete. I'm going to market myself. I'm going to pay attention to how I engage with fans and how I build my own brand and how I push this tour along, how I interact with my opponents. And I think that got lost. That's something that really has interested me a lot. And I've been on both sides of it for sure, where I'm just like, I want to be a world-class professional athlete and do that to the best of my ability. No distraction. Like, that's it. That's it. But then the other side has called to me as well on the business side of things. Wait, but I can't afford to do all that if I can't like make a living, and then how can I build a brand and create value and do all this other stuff as well? And what I found is they're both super important, and they're both a huge part of our sport. And never seen leadership come through in a way where we can just, as athletes, come in and sit back and be like, oh, tell me where to go and what to do, and I'll just make a bunch of money and be successful, and it'll all be good. And like, no, you have to do it yourself. Yeah. That's the St. Johns and the Karches and them that we always talk about. They did that. Yeah. They went to events early, and we've talked about it plenty on the pod, but we got to get back to that, I think.
It's still, as they talked about Obradovich and Hooper and Hovland.
Exactly.
There's Hovland ripping his shirt apart. All that stuff. Karch, bad call at the end of the match, pulling the net down in Rhode Island.
Mr. Perfect too, right?
Right, and that's the reality.
Right. He's our Olympic captain of our national team, pulling a net down / a ref off the stand. Yeah,
with the pole.
Yeah.
He's amazing individual when you look at what he's done. Mm-hmm. He's obviously a great athlete, driven, very intelligent.
Yes.
Watched him since he was in 8th grade come through, and was a great player. Watched him at UCLA, and they were good. He was good.
Yeah.
Watched him in the Olympics, or watched him before the Olympics, but watched him, at the Olympics, and then I watched him on the beach forever. And he'd, something would go wrong. He'd glare at his partner, and he'd, yell at him, and he's so fiery.
Yeah.
And then he became the assistant women's coach for the USA with Hugh.
Yeah.
And Hugh McCutcheon.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, Hugh would call timeout. The girls would come over, and there's Karch high-tinning all the girls when they come in. So I'm lucky enough. I have this group that has dinner together.
Yeah.
And Karch was there, and we're all asking him questions. And I said, Karch, I've known you for a long time. You're the most competitive, driven person I've ever, like broadcasting.
Yeah.
He started broadcasting. He was horrible. 6 months later, he was the best guy in the business.
Yep.
That's just who he is.
Right. Yep.
So I said, what you changed?
Yeah.
I said, well, I had to change.
Yeah.
I had to show respect, show these girls that I care.
Yeah.
And that, I think, is the difference in coaching.
Yeah, I like that. I think people tend to be scared of change, and people that are successful embrace it more. And guys like Karch, and there are some others that come to mind as well, but they just don't wait for other people to do stuff. They don't wait for stuff to come to them. They're like, I'm going to do it myself, and I'm going to do it at an elite level, do whatever it takes to get it done. And they just don't waste time of like, oh, things didn't go my way, or, it's just like, no, I'm going to create my own fate. Tour doesn't want to promote my event. I don't care. I'm going there a week early to do it myself.
That's what I like about the Hermosa Open.
No one's going to teach me broadcasting.
Yeah.
I'll learn it myself. I'll figure it out.
Yeah.
But I'm going to be good at it. Yeah. Well, I have an excuse because I'm new at this, and I've been, no, I'm not going to use that excuse. I'm just going to figure it out.
Another guy like that is John Speraw. Yeah. I remember when he took my spot as the men's coach at UCI, and I was doing the women.
I want to have Speraw on I need to get Spra on the pod.
Spra's the best.
If you see him, tell him I'm
I'll
hunting him down.
Okay, I'll call him because he'd love to do it.
Yeah,
he'd be great. But I remember I used to go in his office, sit down, just talk to him, and he had a whiteboard. And it was like the mad scientist. He's drawing something over here, and next day it's something different over here.
Yeah.
I remember one day he said, we've got this kid that we can set him a 1 out of the back row, Jason Jablonski.
Yeah.
And I said, oh, that's got to be, especially behind the middle.
Yeah.
He set him one way or the other.
Yeah.
That's got to be really effective.
Yep.
What are you going to call it? He goes, well, it's a back quick. So we'll call it a Bic.
Back real quick. Yeah.
Bic.
Yeah.
And everyone goes, where'd the name Bic come from?
Yeah,
Well, that's where the name came from.
Yeah.
From the mad scientist with his whiteboard.
That's funny.
He would be great.
Yeah, for sure. No, I mean, he's busy, but.
Yeah, very.
See if he answers my text.
Got a lot to do. I'll give him
I have an old number from him. I don't know if it's the same one.
I'll give him a little nudge.
Perfect. Yeah.
For sure.
Love that. He coached me he coached against me for the most part. Actually, no, I did a youth national team, little like training camp with him when I was younger. And then we played against each other a lot. When he's at UCI, he beat me in the national championship.
Yeah, I remember.
Bastard.
I remember.
It felt like it was us versus Spra.
Yeah.
With that team.
Yeah.
Because they didn't have any like big superstars necessarily. No. Carson Clark.
Yeah.
But like we were kind of stacked with superstars.
Yeah.
And he just made all the right little chess pieces, brought like a middle in who had no business, like showing up on that stage.
He was amazing with middles, especially.
Damn you, Spra. Made the perfect adjustment on me right at the right time. I'm like, damn, Spra told you to do that. I know you didn't think of like stealing my low line like that.
It's funny because Larissa Nordyke played for me at UCI.
So
we went round and around about the SCUCI.
That's right. Yeah.
So
we came to a bunch of you guys' matches at that time for Larissa.
Yeah.
Good times.
She's about to be a mom again.
Yeah.
Whoa.
I know. And she's running a business as well. Successful business.
Businesses.
I know.
She's
smart.
Smart girl.
Yep.
Smart, despite her college coach, she's a smart girl. Speaking of, robotically going to a site or wearing the uniform your coach tells or everything, taking the thought process. When I was playing basketball at UCI, we would fly to Portland. We'd go to the hotel. We'd go to the gym, go back to the hotel, go back to the airport, fly back.
Yeah.
All my friends would go, hey, how was Portland?
Yeah, right.
And I go, I don't know. I only saw the airport, the hotel, and the gym.
Yeah.
And so I vowed when I became a head coach in college, everywhere we went, I would take my team on a magical mystery tour.
So valuable.
Yeah. I mean, I took my team to Hawaii and took them over to China Walls. We jumped off China Walls.
Dangerous.
That was an eye-opener.
That's not where I would have taken the
No. Well, and the thing is, the guys are kind of looking. So I was the first one to jump.
Yeah.
And they're, he's doing it. The old guy's doing it. I got to do it.
Right, for sure.
Which is fun. Go to Boise State to play with the women. We sneak onto the blue football field.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. And then the security guard chases us off. Right now, to this day, any girl on that team, if you asked if we beat Boise State or not, would not know.
Right.
But they remember the blue football field.
For sure, yeah.
Went to Montana, and I got up early and went and researched some stuff. And so they got up, and we drove up into the woods.
Yeah.
Big bears and, the whole, and then there's the farmer with his blue, overalls on and just things they'll remember always.
Yeah. And that's that part of being a teacher versus a win at all costs kind of coach, because I think you're right. Like, obviously I traveled on the world tour for over a decade and there's so much I missed, so many things I did get to. It's funny. When you lose, you get to experience stuff. When you win, you sit there. I remember specifically winning and being jealous of like, oh, those guys are going to see the fjords today up in, we're in Norway or whatever. And I'm like, and they have epic pictures. And I'm just like, why am I jealous of them? I just flew across here to win this tournament and I'm playing on Sunday or whatever.
Yeah.
They're not. They lost. That's good. But I'm jealous of them.
Yeah.
And then the vice versa has happened, where it's like some of the coolest things I've gotten to see, some of the wonders of the world, the Christ the Redeemer statue in Rio, or this year it was forget what it's called, the Aztec pyramids. It's one of the wonders, not natural, but one of the wonders of the world, in Mexico, and just all these things have stod. Like, I got to go up the gondola and bike down and do all that because I had lost.
Yeah.
But I think that's something good to keep in mind. Like, for me at least, if I step into the coaching space, is like, and if you take that SC job or something like that at a school like that, the AD is going to be pressuring you to not do these things, to win.
I went in when I went up for my first visit to SC, sat down with Mike Garrett.
He's intimidating.
The first thing he says to me, how long till you win a national championship?
Exactly.
So I go through my whole spiel about educating and teaching and developing skills that'll carry you forward. And he looks at me and says, well, when are you going to win a national championship?
Yeah.
He didn't hear a word I said.
Exactly. That's the energy I got from him as well.
Yeah.
I remember when I came in as an athlete, I don't know why. I guess they just wanted me to meet him or something.
Yeah.
Same energy. He's like, I'm not really interested
when do we
in
win?
anything. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Are you going to help this team win? I'm like, I'm going to try. I don't know. You're kind of intense, bro. And then I see the pressure on these coaches. Fergie while I was there, and Brad Keller now as the women's, and Nygaard, and from the pressure from the boosters and from the ADs and like all that. I'm like, I don't know if I want that. I have no problem with pressure, but the expectation to take it in a direction away from just purely doing the right thing, the John Wooden kind of esque style of coaching, being a teacher. I don't know if I'd want that or be ready for that, maybe one day.
Bobby Knight, the basketball coach, said a lot of really bizarre, weird, rude things.
For sure, yeah.
But the one thing he said that's pretty good is the best coaching job you can have is at the orphanage. No parents.
Yeah, right. There you go. Exactly.
Yeah. So
I'm just going to try to get through youth sports now that my daughter's starting to play soccer and t-ball. And
are you coaching her?
I think I'm gonna coach basketball.
Okay.
So I'm watching and observing for now, but the parents scare me.
Oh yeah.
Because it's like they want it way too bad for their kid. I'm like, dude, your kid doesn't want anything to do with the ball. Maybe start with him at home versus like screaming at them out here. Like I'm embarrassed for the kid. That kind of stuff where I'm like, this is making me feel like awkward sitting and watching this. And my parents were amazing in terms of when it comes to that stuff. They wouldn't say anything. I was one of the best athletes most of the time. They're PE teachers. Like I grew up playing sports, but they wouldn't say anything. They just cheered for every kid, and just the same for everyone. And like, so I didn't have to worry about them. And it was just like, that's kind of how I want to be. Is just like, man, I'm just cheering for the team. Like, you guys all good? Coach, you coach. Like, man, like so picturing in your head, like, man, maybe my kid should go pro in this one day or something. When I at the youth level, like, if that kid is going to go pro, that kid's going to tell you that they want to go pro. Yeah. Not you telling them or trying to push that on them.
Great point.
Because I promise you, if you're the one telling them, they have no chance.
Yeah.
They have to have that inner drive to be out there. And you're like, where's Timmy at? He's in the backyard juggling a soccer ball. Like, okay, maybe that kid has a shot. Yeah. But if you told him to go out there and do it, probably not.
Yeah. I told you, I broke into a gym every night when I was playing basketball. Every night.
And look at you now. You're still in the sport, or in the sporting world. And,
I feel so lucky.
Yeah.
Teach a game I loved. Kids over a long, long time. And see all you guys grow up.
And to feel lucky at the end of all that is
absolutely.
Yeah, definitely aspire to that. I don't know what what I'll be in the sporting world going forward, but I mean, just to look back and feel lucky about what you did or proud of what you did, right, and know that you did it for the right reasons is gotta feel good.
Yeah. People always ask me like about Balboa Bay. Well, did you have this master plan to build it to be this big deal? And I go, no, I just did the best I could every day.
Yeah.
And
let it become what it did.
Didn't even look down the road.
Right,
I just did the best I could.
Yeah.
Every day.
Yep.
which I think is a key in life.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
I think that's how Travis and I started the podcast too.
Yeah.
Like we had no intention of making it huge or anything like that. And here we are 7-8 years later.
Yeah. I love the studio. It's so great.
Yeah. The wife builds all of it. So we have a perfect little team because she makes it look good. Travis organizes our thoughts and I just hang out.
I don't think that's true. I think
I do something. I don't know what it is, but we have a really good team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Looks like it.
Yeah. Well, Charlie, anything else you got here? Is there any way people can maybe like reach out if they wanted to, or where can they find you? Like obviously on the UCI broadcasts and
watch ESPN Plus.
ESPN Plus.
Watch UCI women's games, home games.
Okay.
And men's games.
Yeah.
Men's are really fun because there's a few teams that are really good.
Yeah, I heard UCI. I mean, there's a lot now, right?
Yeah.
UCLA, UCI, Long Beach,
Hawaii,
SC, Hawaii. That's like freakishly good. Santa Barbara,
yeah. Going to be good too.
Like
He's
that.
a good coach, Rick.
Yeah.
And he runs his offense, and he does a good job.
Love that.
Yeah.
Well, I'm excited. I want to get out to some games this year for sure.
Come, let me know.
Especially when Hawaii comes to town, because that whole coaching staff is my people.
Yeah. Let me know. I'll get some tickets for you.
Okay, sick. Right on. Appreciate you.
Okay, thank you so much, Ty.
Thanks, Charlie. Pleasure. See you at Outrigger.
Yeah, see you at Outrigger.
Aloha.